Hello crafty friends, I'm Lien from Studio Kato and I'm so glad you're joining me again today. Today I am joining a challenge on the Share Handmade Kindness Facebook group, which is the Facebook group by Jennifer McGuire. And every first Thursday of the month, there's a new monthly challenge that revisits one of Jennifer's techniques. And the November challenge, or the November technique, is color blocking, and it's really fun, it's really colorful, and it's super quick to do. I am starting out on a panel that is slightly smaller than A2, so I will have a nice white margin all the way around when I'm finished with this, and I am stamping a wreath on there from the Pinkfresh Studio English Garden stamp set. I'm using Versamark ink to stamp that out. I stamped it twice with my Misty, and then I can sprinkle on my super fine bright white embossing powder by Wow. I'm going to heat set that off screen, and then I can start on my ink blending. And for this color blocking technique, the first thing you need to do is mask off some color blocks. So I'm first going to blend in the top left corner. I'm going to do an orange blend there, and I'm starting out by putting on 2 pieces of masking tape that I will reuse throughout this video. I'm just making sure they're nice and straight on there. If you're having trouble with this, it might help to use a grid mat beneath your card panel. That always helps, but I like to blend on this slick surface. This is just a laminated sheet of white cardstock. I'm using Pinkfresh Studio inks today, and I'm using a orange for this one and then a yellow to lighten it up on the outside. Then I can move my mask over. I'm just moving one this time, and I'm going to do the top right corner. I'm using some purples there, again making sure that the inside of the corner is the darkest, and then blending it out into a lighter color and eventually white. Then I can move my masks again, and I'm just making sure to line up that mask with the previous blending that I'd done, so I won't have any white gaps between this. For the vertical piece of tape, I am making sure to line it up with the purple, so everything will be lined up nicely in the end. I'm using some greens for this one, and I'm again putting the darkest one in the corner and blending that out into a lighter ink. I will list all the ink colors I used down in the description below if you're curious. And I'm blending both the bottom left and the bottom right corner quite a bit further than the top corners because there's a lot more space on my card there. I'm using some teals, and these are my favorite inks by Pinkfresh Studio. These are so pretty. I love them. I'm again putting the darkest one in the corner, blending that out into a lighter ink, and then I can pull away all that masking tape to reveal the final result. Now I'm putting some black acrylic paint on the side of my craft mat there, and I'm spritzing some water on there to thin it down a little bit. I can mix that up with a paintbrush, and then I'm going to add some black splatter. I love the look of black splatter on super bright backgrounds. It just gives a really nice bit of contrast. And I prefer doing this with acrylic paint because that gives the nicest coverage. If you do it with watercolors or anything, or an ink or something, it probably will turn out more gray than black. I'm putting this pretty much all over the card. I went a bit overboard with it, and then I let that dry completely. I didn't heat set this because that puffs up the paint. I don't mind that all the time. Sometimes that's a really fun little extra dimension that you can add to your card, but I just didn't want it with this background because I will also add some gems later, and I wanted those to be the dimensional kind of splatter. For the sentiment, I am using a happy birthday sentiment from the Perfect Sentiments by Pinkfresh Studio. This is a stamp and die set that cuts out stamps, and cuts out 10 sentiments all at once, so it's really fun to mass produce them and then use them as quick sentiments on your card. So I just glued that in place with Nuvo Deluxe adhesive because it's quite a bit stronger. then the Barely Art glue, and then I can add a whole lot of tiny gems. I'm adding them all over the card because, as I said before, I kind of wanted them to look like splatter again. So I am just almost following the splatter from the black paint and putting the gems next to it. So it will look like I splattered those on as well. And these shine so brightly. I really love the shimmer and shine that they give. I'm adding just a few more because I had trouble stopping today, and then my card is all done. For my envelope, I am keeping things super simple and I'm just making a vellum envelope. I really love the look of these, and I have a lot of colored vellum laying around that I usually just use tiny pieces of, but for envelopes, this is perfect. I just folded this with the We Are Memory Keepers 123 punch board and then assembled it with the Barely Art Precision Craft glue, and that's it. That's the envelope done. I'm not adding a design to it. I just really like a vellum envelope, and the teal matches pretty well with the teal in my card. I love the colors on this card, and I love the splatters and the gems. I really like this modern design. If you're stuck for inspiration, I highly recommend you join some Facebook groups. There are a lot of Facebook groups for different brands and just general card making Facebook groups. They have a ton of inspiration, and it's also a fun way to meet more crafty people. And if you're looking to try new things, new layouts or new techniques or new color combos, I highly recommend you join a card making challenge. A lot of brands do them every month or every week even. And of course, there are Facebook groups that have this as well. It's really fun. I really liked making this card. I hope you like it. I hope you liked the video as well. If you did, make sure to leave a thumbs up on this video and leave your thoughts in the comments below. I would love to read them. Of course, you can also subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of my videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.